Well, today we're going to begin by reminding ourselves what the Bible has to say about things like money and about prosperity and what we call on this show financial independence. You know, the reason we talk so much about financial independence on the Lord and Richard show is because most people that we're meeting, just like you, are worried about events that are out of your control, right? Things going on in this world, in the news cycle, in politics, crazy decisions that affect you every single day. And people are worried that those events are going to harm their retirement. And so what we do is we build a plan for you so that you can retire without worry and achieve financial independence from a biblical point of view. And the reason we want so much to emphasize financial independence isn't just about having money and possessions and things, as you'll learn in today's show, but it's about being able to use those resources to impact the world for God and for Christ and for His kingdom. Well, today, the topic of our study launches out of the book of Jeremiah, where the prophet, famously known as the weeping prophet, because of Jeremiah's broken heart over the people of Israel, he declares early in his book, Jeremiah 2:13, "My people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewed out cisterns for themselves, broken cisterns that can hold no water." You say, well, what does that mean? Well, those two evils are really talking about the source that we have in our life in terms of dependence. Where is the source of your dependence? Where are you putting your trust, your confidence in daily living? And of course, the Bible directs you to put that confidence in God. And of course, the world is constantly wanting to pull you away and get you to put your confidence in things and possessions and experiences. And one of the things that we talk about a lot with people who are looking towards retirement is how they want to enjoy retirement. And I love it when people put godly priorities at the top of that list, impacting people's lives, making a difference. Most people will want to travel. Most people are going to want to spend time doing things that they love. But we want to be careful that we don't hew out or carve out cisterns that hold no water. And so cisterns were used particularly in ancient times, but even in modern times, to store water underground usually, where it wouldn't evaporate so rapidly, especially in these arid climates in the Bible lands. You wanted to be able to store any available runoff from rain so that it would be available to meet the needs of the community. And imagine if your cisterns in your community couldn't hold water, they just drained right out. Well, the prophet Jeremiah, speaking for God, is saying that's exactly what people do with God. They forsake Him, that's evil number one, and then they turn to things that can't satisfy. I had a conversation with a good friend this week, and he was just pointing out how, every time he hits a new benchmark in business, a new goal, it really doesn't satisfy. It's like off to the next goal and off to the next. And I've watched this in the business world particularly, where people are striving and striving and striving, and when they finally achieve what they thought would bring them happiness, what they thought would bring them joy, what they thought would bring them satisfaction, they only discover that those things are like dry powder in their mouth. There's really no satisfaction. For some people, it's just money, being able to have a big bank account, know that we're secure. And of course, the Bible is constantly steering us towards God as our source of security. I want you to be financially independent. I want you to have resources. But of course, God doesn't want you to depend on those things. He wants you to depend on Him. Traveling is a lot of fun. My wife and I enjoy doing that. We do that with our kids when we can. And of course, the pandemic put a damper on a lot of people's plans. So there's been a lot of buildup, pent-up demand for travel. And so we see a lot more of that going on. But travel doesn't satisfy. Once you've been to a place, once you've seen its beauty, it's wonderful, and then you come back home and you move on, right? It's not a permanent fix. And then, of course, possessions, what money can buy. People will say, well, money can't buy happiness. And although it can buy a lot of things that you can enjoy happiness doing and enjoy as part of a happy life, it really does not buy what true happiness is. True happiness comes from knowing and doing God's will in your life. And so possessions are never going to satisfy. You're going to get that big house or that beautiful new piece of furniture or artwork, or perhaps that absolutely amazing mid-engine sports car or whatever it is that you're craving. And you're going to find that with a little bit of time, the luster is going to wear off. The shine is going to wear off. And those things are no longer going to be satisfying to you. So where do you find satisfaction? Well, it's in doing the will of God, as I said earlier, knowing and doing God's will. Here at Lord & Richards, as part of a wonderful team, a team that knows and honors the Lord in their own lives and then tries to help our clients do the same, we're finding great satisfaction in helping others, in giving to the kingdom. Lord & Richards has two major overseas initiatives in addition to the things that all of us do for our community. One of those is in India, where I'm excited to report that our school there is back up and running and over 100 students back in school. So that has been a long, long journey, 2-year journey of having that school closed, and how difficult that was for the school team there. And they, of course, went about into the community, handing out medical supplies, food, and sharing the love of God every single day. But still, it was that heartbeat, particularly of the school's founder and head, that the kids get back in and we be able to share education, be able to share the tools that they need to be successful in life for God's glory. And then in Myanmar, where tremendous persecution has taken place, the violent overthrow of their government, we were already there. Our teams were already in various places where unreached peoples were located, people who had never heard the name of Christ, getting the good news out. And as I speak, 32 new believers are being trained as disciples to reach their people, and many of those will go on and become actual missionaries, going back to their own people, already knowing the language and already knowing the culture. So it's really exciting to be a part of things like that, and I want to encourage you as you contemplate, well, what can I do for God's kingdom? Figure out, where could I place my resources at God's disposal to do amazing things for His glory? And that's really what financial independence is about for a believer. And as I've said many times, we're talking every single day to people who share those same goals, who want to do amazing things, who want to be financially independent. I'd be delighted to talk to you more about what that involves, to help you build a plan so you can achieve that and retire without worry. It really just starts with a simple phone call.